So in this series of video, we're going to explore the cloner. So the cloner is this object. If you open it, hover the mouse, you can see we have many other objects. Actually, all the green ones are generator, so they need to have some geometry to work with. And you have all the blue ones, which are the effectors. For now, we're going to get interested with the cloner. If I select my cloner, you can see we don't see anything actually, because it needs an object to clone. Okay, the cloner itself is just useless. So it's going to clone anything you're going to put inside. So here, if I create a cube, then I'm going to put the cube inside the cloner. It's going to be duplicated. It's going to be more clear if I go to display grow shading. And you can see we have our cube on top of each other, next to each other, and it looks like a giant cube now. So if we go in the cloner, we will see we have here the mode, which is the grid array, and it's going to clone the cube 3 by 1 by 3. So it's a total of 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If you're going to add more cubes, it's going to add them on top at the end of each other, like this. If I'm going to add now on the y-axis, we have more cubes like that. So here we have a count by 5 by 5, that's 25 times 3. So that's a lot. You have to be careful with that. With the cloner, you can end up with a huge number of cubes very quickly. So it works here with the cube, but it could work with any object. For example, if I'm going to create a cone, so I don't see the cone because it's inside, it's hidden by everything. But let's see our cone, which is here. And I'm going to add a sphere. If I activate back my cloner and my cube, and then I'm going to put sphere and the cone inside, you can see it's going to multiply to clone everything. So here it looks like a sequence because we have the option here on the clone to iterate. Okay. The cloner is going to clone anything again. So if I take, for example, my cube and put it inside a subdivision surface, it's going to work as well. If I just hide everything, this is actually a subdivision surface, a cube. It's going to be multiplied. Okay, it's going to work also with any other object, like for example, a spline. So if I create a star, which is inside again, and then I'm going to put it inside the cloner, we see that now that we have a star, which is duplicated along with the other object. Okay. So that's the cloner. You have many other modes you can play with. You can use here, instead of the grid array, the linear. So linear is just going to add them on top of each other on one direction. You have also the radial. The radial is going to clone them along a circle. And you even have the object mode, which is going to duplicate them along another object. So for example, here, if I create just a landscape, let's increase the landscape by hitting T to go to the scale mode. Then I'm going to increase the scale. Let's increase the size like that also. If I go to the cloner, then change the mode to the object mode, it's going to ask me an object here. You have an empty field, so I'm going to drag and drop our landscape. And now we can see how we have our cloner, our clone duplicated onto that surface. For every mode, you have options with that, which are going to change. Every time we still have the basic tab, which is just where you're going to activate or not your object. You're going to name it. You're going to manage the layer and so on. The coordinate, if you want to move everything. The transform, where you can add transformation to the individual object. For example, if I put them all on Y, And at the end, we have the effector. So the effector are going to move all the object according to the transformation of the effector. We will see that in later videos. So in the next one, we're going to see more in depth our cloner on the linear mode.